And we're live, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Big Picture, episode 53, where we help you see,
think,
and act big.
All right.
All right.
I like that.
And-
Good intro.
Yeah, thank you. And as you can see, we have a very vibrant guest.
Yeah.
Our second guest for today. So, guys, we've been hitting it with a series of lives today. So, please hang tight and you'll learn a lot about, especially with branding, because today we have a branding expert. Actually, he has a talk called Branding with a Vision. But, branding is not just his expertise. I mean, he has been, and I'm really curious about this, which we'll talk later. He has been one of the top young entrepreneurs, right? You've been awarded for that, and a lot of us would love that. I mean, I'm not young anymore, but
You're not young anymore. Actually, I just crossed that mark.
all right.
And I'm like, am I still included in that list? But anyway, it's
But yeah.
always forever young tayo.
Yeah, of course, man. So we have a lot of listeners. A lot of you might be curious about how to become that, be part of that young entrepreneurship or that league of young entrepreneurs. So we will discuss that later on. And so our guest for today is no other than Ralph Layco.
Hi, Ralph.
Straight from Manila. Of
Thanks
course.
for having me, guys. Thank you.
Straight from Manila. He just arrived, actually.
Yes, I just arrived.
Right. So we already kidnapped him and have this interview for, to here in On Point still. So
Yeah, we're still in the On Point HQ.
Headquarters,
Yeah.
top of the world.
Ang ganda ng view dito, promise.
Shout out to Jen again.
Again. All right. So Ralph, you've been here. You're gonna give a talk, but not probably a lot of Cebuanos know about you. Maybe you can share as your hero or superhero story.
Superhero story. May ganon. Okay, yeah. Like how I...
Your background.
My
basically.
background, okay.
How you got here.
Nakabigla kasi ako na paano sa aking cape kung may superhero story. But anyway, I grew up in Gensan. So I'm from the province too. I think ever since when I was young, I have this fascination about marketing and branding. But really it's parang scattered. Like when I was young, I always watched advertisements. It's kind of weird. TV. And what I see on TV, I buy talaga on the grocery.
You're the perfect guy to sell to.
To be sold to. So medyo ngayon because thanks to my education in marketing, you're more aware. But growing up talaga yan yung aking napansin ko na my dad told me na when you grow up, I want you to be a marketer. And I'm like, are you sure? Kasi parang lahat tayo we wanted to be, diba? Dati nursing talaga yung pinaka, course. And I think I was invited also to, but my dad parang brainwashed me early on to take on marketing. So I did. And then it just happened na I fell in love with it more and more in college. And then I think that's it. After that, I worked in Nestle, and then after a year, I left na because my mom passed away. I have to be with my dad. And doon na nagsimula yung entrepreneurial journey ko. And now we're here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really good, right? So now, since you've been invited because you're an entrepreneur, can you tell us more about that entrepreneur part? So what was the from Nestle?
Yes.
What was the first gig or what did you do
Right,
after that?
right. Actually, it's been a long and winding road. I started with my first barbershop business. So I borrowed money from my dad. After my mom kasi passed away, I needed parang an avenue for me to be busy.
Outlet.
Why barbershop, by the way?
Kasi I had a bad experience in a barbershop, diba? Kasi parang yung barbershop sa mga malls tayo halos kasi we wanted sana na medyo aircon.
Yeah.
The problem during that time was people don't speak, your barbers don't speak at you. Paminsan, very boring kasi white walls. Tapos, I felt it's like a very sad experience. Papagupit ka tapos kailangan gusto mong pumogi pero you're not really enjoying the experience.
Right.
And then, I went to a salon and the problem naman is amoy chemicals. Diba? Amoy chemicals, ang dami mga babae na nag-uusap. Which is fine, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just that parang I felt na I was I felt like an outcast in that kind of avenue. Oo. Makaka-relate tayo dyan, pare, diba? Oo, medyo parang ano siya. And then, I really realized that there's a sweet point somewhere there in between. So I borrowed money from my dad. I borrowed, I think, 700,000 at the tender age of 22 years old. It's a very bad thing, right? Kasi my dad kasi, si dad para naging open na lang siya because para may magawa tong ako. Pangit pakinggan para siyang first world problems. Pero and then after a year it failed.
Yeah.
We closed it because it's really bad location. But we had really good, ambitions. We had really good intent. It was really well designed. It's parang exactly what I wanted to be. Pero I think God really humbled me in the experience.
Yeah.
Na there's so much more to teach you.
Yeah.
Parang yun yung idea. And then after that, I had series of failures. So I also published a magazine for a year. I featured Manny Pacquiao because I'm from Gensan. It's easy to get to him for a year, and then it closed again. I have another set of mga endeavors, like I made Flayo, which is parang a booking app, and then it got the attention of Microsoft in Manila. And we were so happy, like, uy, this is it. And every day we put on the screen, pinopost namin yung mga sale. Mga 2013, medyo, so doon ay nakikilala na yung mga piece of fare, diba? So we put there manually because we're trying to get in pa the ecosystem. But of course, you don't get money, you don't earn.
Yeah.
Because you just really invest and then parang I felt like this is really not my thing, right? And then, so I closed it again. So parang I was a public failure in Gensan, not only because parang nakilala with the Macho Mucho thing, and it's a small city, and then having those series of failures really make you feel bad about yourself, right? Parang all eyes are on you, and then you feel that there's no way out. Like, what is really the route to success? When I thought I'm okay, I thought I can wing it because your teacher said you're smart. I mean, I'm not saying I'm smart, but I know I can find a way, but I cannot. And then my dad ultimately said to me one day, which really hurt, pare. He said to me na, you're not an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
You have to realize you're not an entrepreneur. You are a marketing guy. So let me marinate you guys with that. The idea is, when you're a businessman kasi, there's two things. You're either a hunter, which is you see ideas like, oh, this is an entrepreneurial possibility, pwede ito gawa ng business. Yung second is, you're a farmer, which means you're cool with day-to-day activities na operations, managing people, managing human resource, managing every little detail. And I'm more of the hunter. And before I was managing salary ng mga tao,
and you don't feel connected to that.
That's super hard. It's super hard.
I hope you didn't get to the point that you cut the hair.
Yeah, di ba? Oo. I don't cut hair pa naman. Really, I just saw the opportunity and I just made, a business out of it. So, ayun, parang sabi ko, ang bobo ko siguro talaga. Like, I cannot make it happen. I cannot handle people properly in the everyday setting.
Yeah.
So what really is, how do you solve this? And I think that's really the point of my journey is, at the moment na parang things rearranged itself and then like I know na how to solve this, parang eventually, parang the idea na we can be anything that we want in this world, that's not true. That's not true at all. You can only be the highest version of who you already are.
Yeah.
Which means kung anong pagkagawa sa'yo, you might want to be Mark Zuckerberg, right? For example, like nung bata tayo, I don't know what's your age, though.
Yeah. I want to be an astronaut.
But you want to be an astronaut, diba? Or you want to be something else. But you have this parang idea of who you want to be as an entrepreneur, or parang like, I want to be like this guy. Ako, I'll be honest, I want to be like Mark Zuckerberg. Like, young, I don't know. I can be like that.
Yeah.
Pero, hindi talaga eh. Ayaw talaga. So which means na ako, na-realize ko, I can be more of the thing that, I can be more of the person that I am really born to be. And that takes a lot of mistakes, which I think is really important.
Just back up a little bit kasi you've mentioned 3 businesses, right? That you've worked on. Now, what were And then you mentioned that you're also a hunter. So basically, the way I interpret that is like you can spot opportunities and you can say, you know what, I can build a company out of this, right? So, how did you select those businesses? Kasi as a hunter, and I know for a fact that you can spot like hundreds of opportunities just by sitting in somewhere, right?
Yes.
And you can say like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how did you pick that one? And like, what was the criteria in your mind?
I think I think it's something that you are naturally parang you have this natural instincts, right? You can spot na okay, especially with your kunyari nagkaroon ka ng education with entrepreneurship, but doesn't really have to kasi if you yourself lumaki din kasi ako nagbebenta din ako ng mga nung 8 years old ako nagbebenta ako ng mga alam mo yung Petix cards, yung cards na mga
Like
robot,
heroes,
ganyan.
right?
Yes.
Sure.
Tapos, parang naamoy mo and then you see na it could have been done this way. It could have been better. The idea that the moment that you see that it could have been better, the customer could have been served better, or you can see na
So you were looking at the gap at that time and say,
Definitely
you know what,
gaps.
this is a really,
definitely gaps. I think the gaps is the answer waiting to be solved.
Yeah.
Waiting to be found.
But now that you've mentioned that those, at first they failed, I think that those were not enough, right? There are so many things in
So
entrepreneurship.
much more, yeah.
And you've mentioned actually the hunter and the farmer, was that?
yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I've read a book called E-Myth, right? So
Michael Gerber.
E-Myth, Michael Gerber.
so
Yes.
there are actually 3 of them. So first is the vision guy, right? That's what you call a hunter. There's the manager who manage people, or the
Operation,
people. Yeah, they're and there's the workers, right?
The technician.
The technician rather.
Yeah.
So in a business, those are 3 people that you should have. Like it doesn't have to be all vision guys in one room, and it's gonna fail. So someone has to implement it, and there's someone who has to manage the people. All right. So I do have a few questions. Like we circle back again. First is you should connect us with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
you want to interview him.
Oh.
But,
Sige.
second is that how
Tama yan. Gusto ko ambisyoso tayo.
Oh,
Gusto
yes.
namin next natin sila, Michael,
Pacquiao.
mga top entrepreneurs. Sige, ano natin?
all right, and second
That's the real purpose of the interview.
Hindi, totoo yan. Network begets network.
Tama.
The second one is how in the heck did you convince your dad to give you 700,000 pesos
Yeah.
at that age? What did you do?
I know, right? That's kind of much of a
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people, they want to finance their business, but they can't find it, right? Like
Yes.
here you are hacking that way,
Yes.
I don't know what you did to your dad, but yeah, can you share some tips on how you were able to convince your dad?
My dad. Bigla ako napaisip. I think kasi I really can there's a thing I think it's common talaga with people who are naturally engaging. I don't know I'm naturally engaging, but what I'm saying is parang I can you can invite
The charisma,
people in
I can see
the
it here,
charisma, right? Like you can invite people into what you wanted, and then you can easily lure them.
So
I
that's
don't know
what-
why na dating world medyo mahirap gamitin to, pero I think I was able to, sell that idea
It can be
to
very
my dad.
persuasive.
Yeah, you can be very persuasive. I think self-belief and confidence really attracts.
So the way I understand what you're saying is like that time and that moment you really believe you can make it work.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow
that
of a doubt.
purity, I guess, or that
That
naive-
certainty.
naivety, right?
Yes,
Like
my
he
God.
gave into it. He gave into it.
Oh.
And do you think it would work for like traditional, or even like some people they ask finance to your close friends, or to
Yes.
do you think that skill or that technique would work?
Definitely. I think you can yung
Raising money?
raising money.
Yeah,
Persuasion
raising
skill
capital.
talaga that applies not even in business, in everything. Like when you try to get someone into your side when it comes to a certain debate, or when you try to persuade someone to, in whatever direction, it works in a lot of ways. Pero I think there's also a responsibility when you have that kind of self-belief. I've watched this Fire. Have you watched that? Yung sa Netflix?
Fire Festival.
Fire Festival.
Fire Festival, dude.
Crazy.
you know what's weird about that is that I'll be honest. Here's the thing about me. Just want to be very honest about that. No, kasi I saw myself with the guy.
Who's the name of the guy? I forgot his name.
Um,
yeah.
That guy.
That guy.
Right? Oh my God. Have you watched it? Do you feel na yung parang...
I felt the same way. Like, I could be this guy.
Yes.
And I even told my wife was asking, why are you watching that? I said, like, because I want to learn a lesson that's so important.
Exactly. There's this parang disgust. But you can see also na I can see myself in him.
Yeah.
Only because he could have done it well. However, there's a really dysfunctional value system na really made him that led him to make bad decisions.
Yeah, I think if the reason why I can see myself there is because the guy is so passionate. You know, he's so passionate. He thinks he can do it. There's that level of confidence and certainty that he was able to communicate it. And we're not talking convincing 1-2 people. He convinced thousands of people, and he knows how to get into the mindset. And like one of the things that I was thinking about, that I don't know if this is the same thing that you went to your mind also watching it, is that like I can be so in love with an idea and not see that there are really holes on it. And I may not be able to execute.
That's the other side, but I totally disagree with you guys. But the thing is, just because the guy is, it depends on his back intention, right? Like if he has really that pure intention, I think I would really resonate with him. But looking at him and looking at his backstory, that he at the end part of it, like he had this scam before.
That I cannot relate, but
yeah, you didn't finish the movie, I guess.
That I can relate. The fact that the
if it's coming from a pure like what he did when he was at that tender age, right, 22.
But Dave, you can be very pure at it and then fail.
Fake it or fail, right?
Yeah, you can be very pure.
That's the truth. That's the thing, right?
True. And ano talaga, when you have that na parang sense of self-belief, I think it also happens to all people, even those people who are like the operation type of people, who are also very high on integrity or whatever type of people. All of us should have check and balances.
Yeah.
That's why it's important na for you, if you're a visionary, you need someone who can really check all of the things that are happening at the back.
Yes.
Putting everything in order, because sometimes we can be so forward moving, the aggressiveness can be unstoppable, and then later on you just crash and burn. Because you really don't have the right, you didn't see the small details.
Exactly.
In your case, Ralph, like who are the check and balance people that you surround yourself with?
Yes, I have my sister who is the CEO of the company that we started. So I started the company, and then she came in the picture, and everything really prospered.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I mean, what's this company we're talking about?
So we have Sunny and Marshall Holdings, which is called Sam Holdings. It's a partnership between me and my sister, and then we have the Macho Mucho barbershop there. We have the HairFood Co shops there also, and then my consultation also is being.
So it's like the umbrella.
It's the umbrella. So she talaga can do the daily thing.
She's the farmer.
She's a firehouse.
I don't wanna
She's a farmer, and she's a really good one.
Yeah.
Like she's the hacienda of the farm.
Haciendero.
Right.
Yes, yes.
So like for some, it's like there's multiple business inside of it, right?
Yes,
the company.
yes.
And then so she oversees everything from an operation standpoint.
Yes, from the operation standpoint.
Interesting.
And I'd like to give a shout out to my assistant. Like, she actually keeps me on check as well. Yeah, because I don't see everything in the business, right? Yes. So now that we're talking about businesses, can I ask you what made you a top young entrepreneur?
Yeah,
Can you tell us about the experience?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So which award is this?
Which award?
And can you give us a little detail?
Yeah,
about
so I know. This is kind of weird. Which award is that? No, yeah. It's I know. I think one of them would be under the Philippine. I forgot. Sorry, Philippine Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yes.
Yes. The national level. Ayun. Yeah, and then this is so awkward.
It's okay. But what particular year was
What
that?
year?
Yeah, and then,
that was 2017.
Okay.
Alright, that's
And then 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
And then some other other ones. Yeah, I think the latest one is the one I'm proudest of, and
tell us more.
Yeah, which we have. It's the under the Asian Marketing Federation.
Oh, yes, that's the biggest one, right?
Yes, yes. I couldn't believe it myself. Like, sabi ko, it was a gift. It was definitely a gift.
So what organization made this?
Yeah, so it's Asian Marketing Federation is like the mother of the all marketing organizations of the Asian countries. And they started a search for the most outstanding young marketer.
Young marketer.
In all
Okay,
of
so it's
Asia.
marketing.
So parang I remember that time, that was last year. I told you guys I was injured, right? I broke my leg. I was not drugged, but I was every day I was in
You're taking painkillers?
taking painkillers,
Yeah,
ganyan, or taking a lot of stuff. And then you also have this depression.
Yeah, because
Right?
you cannot move.
Dude, like
Yeah.
out of nowhere, you're very active, and then out of nowhere, you're
Right.
jolted out from that reality, and you have to stay at bed. And I was super
feel limited.
depressed.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know how this will heal, how long
Yeah.
my right foot will heal. And I was interviewed from Bali. They're all there. All of the judges are there. They're parang a variety. They're different judges, the variety of nationalities.
In the best time of your life.
Of my life. And it's really funny kasi I think I'm wearing the same one. I really don't buy a lot of jackets. I'm a very simple guy. This one, pero naka-shorts ako. Right? I was a suit at the top.
Because you have a cast. Yeah.
Kasi I have a cast, and then I was in my wheelchair also.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing me for more than an hour, and I felt na parang I didn't really give my best kasi I prayed for God's guidance, definitely. Pero parang sabi ko, wala na, okay na to, tapos na yan. Alam mo yung you have this disgust after your interview. Like, pangit ang sagot ko. Like, ganun. Pero, and then I can hear na the next one is going to be interviewed. It's his thigh. I'm like, what's the chances, right?
Yeah.
And when I learned about it, na lumabas siya, I was like stunned for an hour or two. I was like, cannot move.
Right.
When the news came out na, you do we nanalo. And then nangyari, I asked God, wow. Yeah, I asked God talaga, why would you give me this platform, this award? Kasi I might be too, proud of myself. Sure. I might be arrogant, and I don't want to be in that place, sabi ko. And kasi I'm now in this journey with God, and I really believe that things happen for a reason. And I just got to hear the message. Parang he said na I'm giving you a platform so that you can tell everyone about what to do. So that's why a really, really good award.
Okay, couple of questions. What were the questions? Because I haven't been, and I don't know anyone.
Or how could you even be in the list?
Oh yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
So it's parang national, it's funneled nationally. So there's a lot of participants, and then they tell you if you qualify for the finals. And the finals is they tell you na you will be having an interview on this date. Prepare. So parang it's kasi nalala ko pa when I was filling the forms, it's strenuous details about what businesses you start, ano ba ginawa mo, what are the marketing strategies you did to manage these businesses, ano ba yung mga ginawa mo, innovations. And I was just filling in the forms. I was just really just doing it, not with no idea to win. Kasi parang ang dami ko na rin na sinalihang mga competitions na you're just a runner-up or you didn't win. And that's fine with me. I was just really trying kasi ayun. And then that was it. The interview happened, and then the rest was history.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the
Thanks.
benefit aside from having a platform? What were the benefit you get to?
The benefit is definitely I don't know. It's actually the awarding is next week.
Oh yeah.
I was given the announcement
You're flying
last
somewhere?
year. I'm flying to Malaysia, and it's gonna be happening there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you,
Check it.
thank you. Yeah, I will be.
Is it on be live television or something?
I don't know. I don't
or
know.
YouTube live?
They need a 3 to 5 minute video. And I was like, what am I gonna say there? And we're gonna shoot it on Monday pa. Like, sabi ko, ano ba to? Like, mga rugs to riches story, ng mga ganyan. Hindi naman riches, pero like rugs to something story. And I'm like, it's really awkward when you share your story, but I know na, no, I should be doing it na kasi it's gonna be out next week. It's gonna be next week, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you mentioned marketing strategies.
Yes.
And I know you're very knowledgeable about it. Like, do you have certain strategies? Like, do you practice different strategies, or are there a set of strategies that you want to share to everyone?
Right. Actually, strategies and you know, directions on how you do marketing. I think those are, you know, directions alone. You have to go back talaga to this really keen curiosity about solving the actual problem, right? I see marketing as I see branding and marketing as parang you're a alchemist.
Right.
That you make something out of this just mere objects, right? You create magic out of mere objects. And that's what you really do. You really bang your head, metaphorically, finding ways on how you can solve a relevant problem. And not only that you solve it, is that you solve it with passion and you solve it where lives actually change. And that's really the great thing about marketing. And I fall in love with it more and more each day because parang you have the power na to change the marketplace. Especially in these times na parang we have so much global challenges. We have here poverty. We have here pollution and the growing plastic problem. We have here people not uniting, right? I had the challenge. I saw it na parang it's a gift for me to fix things in my own way.
Yeah.
You know, and for example, just recently I organized a festival in Gensan. It's called Kalilangan. I was inspired by Sinulog very much. I was here just a weekend and I was like, take ako ng photos ng lahat ng mga ginagawa ninyo dito, gano'n. And sabi ko, I wish I could do this to my city as well. So Gensan kasi is like a melting pot of different mga lahi. Because General Santos, when he came over and then he was welcomed by tribes and Christians and Muslims. And that story was never told. And sabi ko, how can I, and Kalilangan that for the past years though, it's really well organized. It's not with scale, you know, like in a way Sinulog is. And for me, I want to really unite the people very much because I wanted to really put away the idea that there's a disconnect between us. There's more of us that's more of what connects us than what divides us.
Yeah.
And in a festival, you can really share that message in a fun way. And in just 2 months, I was working with my team, and I told them, this is the vision from this part of the city to the entire city. And how can you do that, right? Like, how is possible? And really, I believe it's God's intervention. Like, how you can make a big idea, and finally, we are going to make a festival we will be proud of, and everyone's going to celebrate. And it became so...
And it's multicultural. That's a challenge, right? It's in itself.
In itself. And you can see in the posters, you can see the Lumad, right? The Titiboli, the Blaans, and also you have here the Muslims and the Christians and the regular people having a photo together. Never seen like that. You haven't seen anything like that. And it's a powerful message. It feels, especially for the young ones, there's no more what divides us. And it was really good when I was interviewed one time. They told me, sir, you know what? It's the first time I felt involved.
Wow.
And that for me is exactly why I'm doing this. You know, this is exactly where we're making change happen. I was asleep not asleep, but I was like sobrang stressed for a week after the event. But you know, at the end of the day, say it's worth it. This is what exactly the point of marketing or branding is. Because it was just a mere festival. Now, through finding ways on making it bigger.
Yes.
What were the...
Change can happen.
Let's get more specific and let's take that as an example.
Sure.
What were the steps that you did differently that like the previous years
Yeah.
were not able? Yeah.
I have a great answer for that. I have a great answer for that, and that's validated by me. No, I know. The question is, ano kasi, how you approach solving a problem. Actually, let's stop saying marketing strategies. Let's talk about problems and solutions.
Yes.
Wow.
And
I like
problems
that.
and
Yeah.
miracles.
Everybody can relate to that now.
Now, di ba? It's not anymore like, marketers na makakasagot niyan. Like, no, we need posters, we need flyers, that's not it. You go back to where the problem is at, right? And then we have here a city that is ready for change but not yet happening. And then you have here people who wants to engage but doesn't know really where to do engagement, how to do engagement. And they've never seen a bigger festival, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a really big responsibility. It's really obsessed about solving it, right? It's really about the obsession that really keeps you going. And then how you solve a problem is this. Never solve a problem by starting from the past. You solve by starting from the future.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Go ahead.
If you solve from the past, you create incremental change, right? Like, dagdagan natin ng konting fiesta dyan, ng konting events dyan. That never inspired anyone, you know? And how you start from the future is, we have a place called Oval. Parang lang siya isang activity na malaking center, no? It's in the middle of the city. That's where the event happens. I actually had a death threat also happen, making this happen. It's really stressful. It's like my emotions are every day up and down. And kasi
Why was that? Because it's
political.
It's
Political.
very
you know, you're making big change.
Yeah, big change.
Dude.
People hate change.
People hate change.
Exactly.
And I was
Yeah.
even told in front of the, and oh my God, people are watching, but it's okay, it's already done. We love you guys. But we are now okay, right? So,
Still alive.
I was in Sangguniang Panglungsod, and after my talk in Sangguniang, they were like making duro of me, and they're like saying na, ikaw ang nagsira ng Kalilangan. And ikaw ang sama hindi ka na sumali ng Kalilangan. And not only that, I got a threat, right? But I love you guys already, and we're okay. And we already shook hands.
Awesome.
Because at the end of the event, kasi they were scared that, I understand where they're coming from eh. Kasi the idea is, sabi ko, ito lang yung space for events. I wanna make a really strong message where unity is the main core. And then I want na the whole city is reverberating with the energy. Kasi marketing is not about solving problems alone. It's also orchestrating energy. Alam niyo when you get inside.
I like that.
Diba? Yung parang, ay, ang exciting nito. Hindi ko alam, hindi ko ma-explain, pero na-excite ako.
Yeah, because you need people to take action, right? And so how do you translate that energy? What do you translate? Like,
Omnipresence yun. That's really they on Facebook or Instagram or on outside.
That energy you want.
It should be around,
Yeah.
right? So you need yung lahat ng mga tarps na yan, lahat ng mga events na yan, lahat ng kailangan isa yung branding and should be really good branding. Kasi
Yes.
people like, class.
Yeah.
Even though you sell to the mass, you sell class.
Yes.
Right? And then they want that. If you treat them like trash by having a really bad communication style, then you'll see the feedback.
Yeah.
So even the malls, ganun din. First time, dude, the whole city collaborated. You'll see frontliners wearing cultural, costumes.
Yeah.
For the first time. Even Jollibee, they have their own Kalilangan meals for the first time.
Yeah.
And McDo, they have a Happy Kalilangan. And I finally saw the engagement, yung makita mo, ang saya namin, thank you so much, ganyan. I'm like, I wanna cry so much. And solving your question, always answer. So what we did is, if I started from the past, kukonti lang yung changes. But I saw, kasi ginawa namin, dude, from Oval, di ba, malls din, we also introduced a prime estate. Parang ika nga dito, parang itong gitna na to, na-stop namin. Tapos gumawa kami ng stage for the first time with a food park.
Yeah.
And then, nothing ever done before. And isang parang installations para people will take selfies.
Yeah.
Kasi I know what they want and I'll give what they want in a whole new way.
Yeah.
So, nangyari is, galit yung mga bangko dun. Even may message sa akin, and then they're...
Because you have to block the whole place.
You have to block the whole place. It's really a prime area.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Chinese Chamber of Commerce also really showed their disinterest and really messaged the city. And for me, I think it's really when God... I share this. I think it's really when God really showed His grace na hindi ako masyadong natakot. hindi ako masyadong nasaktan.
Yeah.
Kasi if I did, then I could have stopped midway.
Wow. You know what? You did organize like a fire type.
Right.
So you did. That's why.
Yeah.
Because
right?
so many.
I sold some like you have to sell to
That's
the
why
ano
you were
pare.
selling.
Oo, to the
You saw the vision. The big
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah. And I saw that January. Sabi ko, fuck. Ay, sorry. Oh no, is it okay?
It's okay. We'll bleep it out.
Bleep it,
And
yeah.
then, sabi ko, bakit ito mangyari sa akin? Even my sister, Kuya, I see him in you. Baka you're gonna do a fire festival. And I'm like, people are saying, si Ralph is overselling. And I'm like, that's why we really worked hard after that. Like, sabi ko, it has to work. Kailangan maganda yung mga events. Ganyan. Walang tulog for 2 weeks, 2 hours of sleep. And I'm like, how did I survive this? And really, God's grace. Pero, that's the thing about marketers or the things about people who can make things happen. That's all of us, I think. All of us.
I like how you simplified it because like marketing, it solves like a problem and everybody wants to solve a problem. And so I like how you connected that because it like when you talk about marketing, it can feel like the easier way to really process it is like, oh, it's only for the marketing people or people are selling something, but everybody's selling and everybody's trying to solve a problem. So I like
Every
that.
single day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So for my guy, I'm gonna my understanding of the like starting from the future, right? It's basically building on the vision that you have and making it. You know, you have this vision that you all aim for, and now making it a reality.
Yes.
And I'm just curious: is that what dictates the specifics? Like, oh, the poster should be this. The branding should be this. Is
Right.
that correct?
Exactly.
So is
You
that
said it
how
right.
you go through a marketing strategy? Like,
Yes.
okay, solve a problem, get the vision, and you know,
Yes.
if I'm gonna
And
simplify
work backwards.
Work backwards. Reverse engineer.
All right.
I believe everything, okay, big ideas, even in business ito, not only in marketing, you have a big idea. This is the future, right? And then your job is like you're a sculptor. You're like, you're making your own Michelangelo.
Like how you
Yeah.
get this,
Yeah.
metaphors and all.
Kasi in your job is not to be biased with what you want. Stop thinking that it's somehow for you, right? I stop thinking na I need, whatever man dyan na influence ko. I wanted the big idea to be evolved exactly on what it should look like and how it says, I want to look like this. I want to look like a big event like this.
Doesn't matter who does it or
Who does it.
who's
And
the
your
person
job
behind it.
is to do it every single day, sculpting it so that it will show its perfect form. And then that's how I think really, it feels, when you have a big vision and this is the solution, it feels comfortable with you, even though it's fucking scary.
Yeah. So there's that gut feeling that we've arrived to something that we really want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's really about in the past years, I've told you, so much failures. Last year, I closed another business, which is I made my own coffee shop. It's called Patriot. I really want to help out the farmers by making a really...
Their grains.
Yeah.
Their beans. Was it?
Their beans from the region. And
Nice.
wala kasing selling. And we're the #1 coffee producer. And I made a coffee shop out of it. And go back again. I'm not really good in managing. And I was a really good-looking coffee shop, though. So, kudos to that. I think it's the past failures talaga are very important. If you look at them as gifts, if you look at all people who really, showed their disgust to you, and all of the people who, might not be, cool with you, and all of the experiences you had in the past, if you saw them as feedback, if you saw them as ways for you to be humbled, because our problem talaga is if you're a visionary, you're too, you believe in yourself too much.
Yeah.
And you need to believe yourself in the right amount.
Right. There's what you said, it reminds me of this like Icarus story that like there's always this feeling like, oh, you're aiming too high, and people will like. I
There's
think it's
no
in the back of
problem in aiming too high.
Yeah, in the back of people's mind,
True.
it's there. Like,
Yes.
are we treading into a place where we're actually like taking more than what we can chew?
True.
Yeah,
True.
and so like with what you said is like we have to like at some point we have to trust that you have to believe that it's gonna work.
It also has to be something worth believing, right? The vision has to be too big.
Agree.
That's what I think,
True.
right? Like the Fire Festival or the Kalila.
Yeah.
So it has to be really big. It's like the biggest party in the decade, right? That's what they mentioned.
Yeah.
Something like
the
that.
party that never was.
The party
The greatest party that ever was.
The greatest
Alright.
part that never was. So going back to lang is tatapusin ko lang yung
Sure.
ano ko doon. What the question again? Wait, look at that. Yeah. Also kasi when you have like this idea on how things should be, right? I told you na the past really taught me a lot. It also taught me how to manage people, which is the most, challenging part because you need to keep on motivating them, inspiring them. What if hindi ka operator? And then it's like, shucks, makikilala nila ako. Like the Ralph that they thought na, Ralph will change everything. And then when you saw them, when you finally meet me and it's operations time and I'm not really good at that, how can we do this? So I've been tamed by the past, or I've been that I got to really be a better leader this time around. And until now we're super friends. Like the other night I was like drinking with them and I was like, guys, we need to really stop clingy na kasi we have to it's when you have a big vision, a team is super important. And all of you guys should be they need to be led. A lot of people wants to join change, wants to make change happen. We're looking for leaders, and sometimes if you're chosen by God or you're chosen to be a leader, you have to be super humble enough that you're given this. I hope that you will be able to do this, not thinking that you're good, but thinking that you can make other people good.
Awesome.
Okay.
So
Very
let's
good.
since you're talking tomorrow,
Yes.
Can you let's shift gear a little bit towards the event
Yes.
tomorrow, right?
Yes.
What can
By the way, you guys are really good interviewers, huh? Good job.
Thank you.
I love how we're going. Hi Jen, how's the temperature there?
So let's shift gears a little bit with tomorrow's event because
Yes.
you're gonna be speaking.
Yeah.
What can people expect to learn from that event?
Actually, I prepared more of the foundations of marketing and branding that really helped me. It's like you now know how to maneuver or solve things because you have these foundations, like how to be top of mind, and if you're not the first, how can you be top of mind, right? And there's strategies on how to make that happen. And I think it helps you also how to solve bigger problems when you have this fundament. Parang kang doktor, di ba? Meron kang training sa nursing, medyo nakakatulong na rin. And those will be taught tomorrow. I will be teaching that. I will be sharing that. I want really na we can have better marketers, or not even marketers, we can have better change makers,
Yeah.
Movers, yes. And then I'll be sharing that, and definitely we're gonna have a one-on-one consultation where people will be asking us, and I really love to solve problems for them. Parang I think that's a good activity.
Yes, it is a
Just
good
my
activity.
like more coffee. Kasi madlaw kay Jen, coffee na Jen. Medyo hindi na siya nag-work. May time talaga na ganun.
You should have a one pot with you. And
Next.
just refill. Wow, yeah.
Yes.
So guys, again, for those who are watching in the live, Ralph will be there talking about branding with a vision.
Yes.
And as you can see, right, like even in this interview, we're learning a lot, Dave.
Yes,
right?
the energy is
The
here,
energy is
like, you
here,
know,
and
I-
so we're so excited to see you
I'm
tomorrow.
excited too.
And
You will be there.
I will be there.
Okay, you'll be there too.
I'll be on a workshop, but
You'll be in a workshop,
I'll be in
but-
spirit.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I'll see you after.
I'll represent. I'll
That's
represent
after,
the
yeah.
big picture.
Yes,
there.
yes.
Also, so this goes for everyone. This is not just for marketing. Those who want to build a brand, or if you're not into business, I think it's very clear what what Ralph is saying to everyone. It's for those who want to make the changes in the world or in their lives. So yeah, I think you should go and check this event out.
I like what you said. Like I'll repeat that. When you said that it's about problem solving. Like personally, I would say like, okay, what marketing questions would I be asking tomorrow? That's what crossed my mind. But when you said it's about problem solving, like it opened the door a little bit wider and say, what problems they have, and and how can that workshop would help solve my problem, right? So guys, and like what Dave said, this is not just about this specific group of people. If you have a problem to solve, if you have a vision to sell, if you have a vision to share, this event is for you. But
I'd
it's
like
gonna
to
be
say
worth it.
shout out. There's people watching here. Hi Carla. How are you? Taga Cebu po ni siya. Oh, hi Carla. I miss
Carla,
you.
yeah.
Niagtujud sila sa Kalilangan just to support. Like, oh
yeah.
my God, you guys
Cool,
are
guys.
awesome. You guys are.
Invite me. You should invite us next time. You know?
Yes. I will invite you Kalilangan, like so much bigger.
Yes.
Next year.
All Philippines.
I want to be at the front seat.
Oh, like
That's my
hello Sinulog, you have your new brother in
Yes,
celebrations. Isko pare hi. Hazel, Ate Hazel, hello. How are you? I'm gonna see you very soon. Hopefully tomorrow, hopefully the next 2 days. And yon. Yeah, hi.
Thank you guys.
Thank
for
you guys.
visiting.
Okay, so we normally, end this section of the show with our learning between among Dave and I. So Dave, can you start?
Yes, as usual.
As usual.
So, I like how Ralph simplified all of these marketing, these concepts, right? So what I got from it, and I want to simplify it because I always like to simplify things, and
Yes.
I want to apply it right after this. So first is you have to really solve a problem. Then after you imagine that solution, you have to have that vision in the future, what you want it, and then you work through that by reverse engineering and really and the energy will get you there. So yeah, I'm gonna apply that, and I've at the back of my mind I've some business ideas that I was thinking to apply in the next few years, and I'm gonna definitely apply that. So yeah, I think that would work a lot. That'll work a lot.
Good luck to that.
Yes.
You're gonna make it happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. So in my case, what I've garnered from what you said, like it's very important to create a concrete vision of the future, and I like the fact that you shared about starting in that vision, because if I were in your shoes, I would probably start with building up on from the past, which makes sense from a logical standpoint, at least in your mind, from a linear standpoint. Sorry, not logical, but linear standpoint. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you're gonna start from the past, you'll always just be like incrementing, small incremental changes, right? And if you start with a vision, it's easier. I wouldn't say easier, but like it's more. I would say more complete. Like it's complete, like the action plan and how to initiate it. And you're the second marketer today that we've interviewed, but this common theme of like complete communication of what you really want to happen. To me, I was thinking about it like, okay, what areas in my life or in my business that I can like, maybe I should spend more time thinking about this, the business as a whole, and then implement it from there. Not because right now I'm looking at, what can I improve from the current, but what you said is like, start there with a vision and then reverse engineer and implement backward.
But
Awesome.
you have to it has to be audacious as well. I mean, it has to be
I
a
agree.
lot more risky
Yeah.
than comparing from the past.
You need
Yes.
to.
I should say because
And in getting there will be very hard. Always remember that when you fly, you're going against the wind.
exactly right.
So life is like that. It's
Yes.
always going to go against the wind. You're going to go. You're going to really be having a lot of challenges.
Awesome.
But it's sweeter that way.
Yeah. I like it.
All right.
It's daring and good. All right. So now we will move on to our lightning round.
Whoa, may lightning round!
Well,
So these
wait,
are
Yes, I'm lightning surprised.
So,
so these are a series of questions
yes,
that we
it-
ask, like a lightning, so you can answer it as swiftly as you could.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the
Right.
first question.
So the first question is, do you have a morning routine? And if yes, what is it?
I do. I really believe in morning routines because if you want to be a high performer, or not really because you want to be a high performer, but because you want to be effective, you need to have a routine, definitely. I wake up always before 6 or 6-ish, which is 6:30. Kasi especially now na medyo ang daming activities, talagang umuwi na ako ng 12 or 11, ganyan. And then what I do is, the first thing I do when you wake up, right? You always start with gratitude. You always tell yourself, I always ask yourself when I start getting my shorts because I'm going to go to the gym, I say, what am I thankful for? And I always say, I'm thankful for my sister. I love her so much. I'm thankful for my dad. I'm thankful for my younger brother. I'm thankful for this day. And I'm like that. And gratitude kasi, it's not way lang yan to be happy. No, it's really changing your mood. Always when you start the day, changing states is important because it's either gonna be in a like autopilot mode, or you're in a passionate mode. You need to be inspired, and and gratitude really starts right. And then you get water. You need to be hydrated because you slept and you need hydration. You need to keep going. I do breathing exercise. You need this so that you can oxygenate your brain. And then you do this, right? That's the Wim Hof method. Just at least 8 times. Can we do it now?
You're doing it this way?
Like this, right? Okay. And then what we do is inhale and then exhale.
So you do that?
I do that in the morning. And
How many minutes is this?
And then medyo magiging foggy ka in a way kasi pupasok yung
break.
You don't exhale, but fast.
Yes, 9 times or 10 times, and then mga around 8 rounds. Then
What's the effect?
it oxygenates your brain. It makes you think quicker. It makes you also pumps up your circulatory system.
Yeah.
And then after that, I drink my I have biotin. I have vitamins and stuff like that. Going 30. Oh yes, definitely. And then you start also with turmeric because it's super good for anti-inflammation. If you wanted to be really
Turmeric.
Yeah,
Powder.
turmeric. Yeah, especially if you put pepper, small pepper lang.
Is this the one without sugar or
you want sugar? Go ahead. Like what makes you comfortable? Kasi lasang ano talaga to best. Challenging.
Yes.
You have to like put on some sugar and then you put on some pepper. It's really times 10 the effect. And then I go to the gym. And then at least sa akin is 10 minutes na run and then 100 lang na ganyan. At least just to ano lang. Kasi pag minsan kapoy and then you want to go home, right? And then that's it. That's how I start the day.
Wow. You're more detailed than the two of us. That's good.
I kind of follow the same. But yeah, it's not my show. So next is like, what are if there are any resources or books that you can recommend to
so many. Oh my God.
Top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
Top 3, definitely one would be by Mind Valley. It's the Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
Vishen Lakhiani.
He's an amazing guy. I wanna also follow his parang I'm inspired by him. So what I like, the reason why I like this is that it really boils down or makes it understandable how we are either victims or we're cultural provocateurs. We make change happen, and it changes. You need to realize na you're being also parang conditioned by society and by your parents, and you have to know na how you can detach from that so that you can be truly who you are.
Wow.
And second would be definitely so many. My God, one that I like the most is Power of Moments. Right.
I haven't heard of that.
Yes. So this is a good story. If you want to really engage people, kasi definitely you're gonna make seminars or events soon, ganyan. Always find ways on how to make this meaningful because you want that to be unforgettable. You want lang na magkaroon ka ng event or unforgettable event. And for example, what we did with Jen was invited to the Creators Con, di ba Jen? Ang daming activities that people will, be more self-aware. They get to engage with people.
Yeah.
That's how whatever book is about, and I love that. Third is definitely the one that I'm reading now na lang siguro.
Sure.
It's the Alter Ego.
Yeah.
There's 2 versions of you. The you who like the everyday, still, despising of, bad food, like wake up in the morning and medyo cranky pa rin. And then there's the other side of you na the moment that you need him to be the highest version of himself, he just changes. And that's possible. Remember when you wear a cape and you feel like when you're younger, you feel like you're actually better than just a regular kid. Diba? Or when you wear a certain, ang lakas maka-confidence nito.
It feels,
I feel like, I don't know.
Speaker.
Diba?
Yeah.
Just a change of look, like maybe you wear something that makes you feel credible. makes you feel good about yourself will change the way you
Change your state.
communicate. Yeah, your state. Another one is you can do a twist also. Yung parang ikot ka, parang Superman.
Yeah.
Wow, pwede ganun.
I see like Tony Robbins does that.
He does that. Exactly
every
the
time he
point.
goes out to the stage.
He tells
Yeah, it's the
he's-
same thing. Like he would,
he do the twist.
Yeah, twist, yeah.
Right? Because you need to now like stop now with my regular self. I'm becoming the person who my crowd needs me to be.
Yeah.
And that is possible.
That makes
You can
sense.
make that happen by a snap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
Best advice you've received.
Yeah, from the book Strengths Finder.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can be more of who you already are.
You can be more of who you are already.
Who you
are.
already are.
Okay.
Stop kasi yung idea niyan, I love it so much because it's really the story of my life. I really wanted to write a book. I wrote the part of the book so far. And it's really, sabi ko, why are people being sold to of different ideals? Like, kailangan maging successful, ganyan, doktor, ganyan. And this is happening to everyone.
Yeah.
And even people closest to me, and I'm hurt because they cannot be the person they really wanted to be. Like, I can see it. You're supposed to lead us. You're type who's more of a leader. You're not supposed to be doing this kind of activities. But then they were sold to by their parents or they're sold to by their And sa akin parang we wanna be the popular guy.
Yeah.
Or we wanna be the successful like the richest guy or but it's really what society is telling that's the successful type. The real success is if you are the highest expression of who you are.
Yeah.
Like God made you this person. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're, let's say, you're a healer, or if you're, say, if you have a gift of gab, okay lang sa'yo na hindi ka sobrang yaman eh. Gusto mo okay lang, sustainable ka. And sometimes what you do, parang sobrang saya ko dito eh. Kahit hindi ako kumikita, ang saya na masyadong malaki, masaya ako sa ginagawa ko. And that's what you really want, yung living your passion every single day. And I wish people that they can be the highest version of who they are because it feels so good to be wearing your own skin.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Worst advice.
Worst advice? The worst advice would be, gusto ko maging joker kasi lang sobrang ko passionate ngayon na parang wala akong joke na maisip. Bad advice would be, dapat married ka na sa edad na ito.
Yeah.
No.
We're not gonna elaborate.
Appear ba?
We're not gonna elaborate on that, right?
I'm not gonna elaborate on that.
Okay.
Dapat successful ka na sa edad na to. Worst advice ever.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, so do you consider yourself successful?
No. The moment you say that, ako I believe in this too, and God's, I tell this to people as much as possible. Kasi napaso na tayo dito eh. Yung sinasabi mo magaling ka.
Yeah.
Tapos believe ka na magaling ka. God, I believe talaga na God will exalt you. God will raise you if you're humble. God blesses the humble. And if you are mapagyabang and telling people that you are the good one, God will find a way to really, drop you from that kasi He wants to humble you eh. And, ano nga tanong mo?
You consider yourself successful?
Successful?
No.
I consider myself, hopeful that every single day I get to be of service to more people. And even though it sounds ideal, there's no success is a curse eh.
Yeah.
Success tells you should be a certain standard of person. Na may mga car, na marami kang malaking bahay mo, that you have the perfect family, but nothing is perfect in this world. Stop chasing perfection. Perfection is really the enemy of development because you want to be better so that you will be liked by other people.
Yeah.
What you want to do is really evolve every day and grow. Your purpose, your goal is to grow every single day. That's it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, so a lot of our listeners, they're from OFWs or, they probably stuck in a job that they probably don't like, right? And yes, so they want to transition or maybe they want to do something better. So what is your advice for those people?
That's a really good question. And I wish I can really give a good answer. everything is a compromise. That's why they went abroad, and that's why a lot of people chose a certain career path na they just resolved doing for the sake of their loved ones. And that's the thing about us Filipinos, we're very family oriented. And I cannot say na you should be stopping your job so in finding your career. That's like saying na parang we can give them a God because kanya-kanya tayo ng journey eh. What I wish everyone lang is that find the way that you open up this to the higher being. Because when you say, let's be logical, no, na mahirap kumita, everything is hard talaga, and the path is long and winding. But once you open up to God na what you wanted talaga to happen, miracles happen along the way. It's like the sinabi nga nila, when you take the first step, doors will open. And I believe in that. And that's not logical at all. That's just a given. I have this quote, I just had this parang message from God. I'm as if like I'm a, parang I had this like, parang, di ba, meron tayong maganon, yung parang, that's a really good line. You know, I'm like, thanks God. You know? Sinabi niya, sabi niya sa akin, I had questioned God eh. I asked God like, God, how can I, ang dami natin ginagawa sa buhay, ang daming compromises, ang daming agreements na hindi ko naman sinabi na kailangan kong, I approved of. How do I live a life na very meaningful for me? And then he said that, sabi ni God, sino sabi ko ba yun? I felt na the answer was, put your dreams first, because that's the dreams I seeded in you, and everything will rearrange. And everything will rearrange. And it's not logical, it's faith that will give you that path. And I wish all of our OFWs, all of the workers, all of the people who aspire to be something, that you just start this relationship with Him. And it will never be logical, but it will be a great journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right.
Right.
So the last question is, where can people, people probably have questions or they want to know what about your company, about what you're doing
right now.
Right. What's the best way to reach you or find, your work?
Yeah, so you can definitely message me on, I have a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I saw that.
In-enjoy ko kunyari yung Facebook page na yan kasi rather than messaging you directly to your account,
yes,
diba?
That's true.
You can message me there. There's events. I have the next big 100 coming very soon, which is, but I'd like to work with Jen on that, maybe for Sibuleg. Diba? The idea would be I want to raise the next big 100 people. Not that I am, but with the help of a lot of people. The idea would be there's two people. There's two things. There's your big idea and the person. The person who keeps on holding back and the big idea that is not like well developed. Those two must be assisted. So that's really the idea of the next big 100. We have events coming up. The business. There's these ventures. But you can definitely contact me on Facebook. I have Instagram. I reply sometimes.
So just search your name.
They search my Ralph Layco, and there's the black and white profile photo there.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
This is the photo.
Yeah. I really don't have a lot of profile photos, which is really funny. Medyo busy. Hindi, medyo wala kang time. Masyado kang, niawa nga ako kayo dyan. Tagal ko mag-reply eh.
Ralph, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is a really good talk.
I
love
love
this, guys.
it.
Good job.
It's
Good
the
job
same.
for doing this
we really
podcast.
enjoyed, having you here. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it too.
Okay. I'd like to say thank you again to On Point, Jen.
Yes.
Thank you for making this interview possible. And guys, please do check out On Point, subscribe for future events, and don't forget to go to the community for the big picture community. So we're sharing a lot of events. Sometimes we give free stuff, discount also.
Yes.
And not more than that, there's like courses that we're putting
out,
there, and these are free. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will come tomorrow. You'll join us, and again, go to Ralph's page and send him a message.
Yeah, you can.
Say hi.
We also connect all of those links, the books that we mentioned on our. We have a website, of course. So that's the bigpicture.ph/episode
52.
53.
53. Yes.
Wow, congrats, ang dami na.
Yeah,
Good job,
so-
good job.
Yeah, we're on our 100 as well. All right, so
So
yeah.
with that, this is still Joe,
It's Dave,
and this is Ralph saying goodbye for now.
Have a
Bye
great
bye.
Bye,
day.
guys.